Those are the basic elements or scenes from the Day of Judgment. From it, there are a variety of points that I've mentioned as I went through that we need to reflect on. To what degree are we prepared for this day? What is our state of preparation? Whether it is about our lives, how have we used our lives, our wealth, our strength, our spare time. Do we really have spare time? Is there time to kill, as people say? No. We cannot afford to allow any moment of our lives to pass without taking benefit, because every moment which is gone forever. We will meet it again on that day. Belief in the Day of Judgment is a part of faith. It gives the believer a sense of purpose, strength, and resolve to hold on to what is right, because they know that however life may appear to us, where success seems to go to those who are involved in evil, those who are righteous may not succeed in worldly matters. But because they know the judgment is real, they have the strength, the moral fortitude to hang in there and stick with what is right. They know that no one who does evil will escape that evil, no matter how pleasant their death might have seemed. Those who are righteous and die in horrible circumstances, painful circumstances, no matter how horrible and painful it may seem, the horror and the pain is purification for them in leaving this world, as the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ had promised. That those who are righteous, Allah will try them with suffering to purify them through their patience. When you're patient with suffering, you're purified. To purify them so that they leave this world free from sin. And they meet Allah on that day without fear. So we need to reflect. The Day of Judgment, the Day of Resurrection, the day of the weighing of deeds, the day of gathering, that terrible day. We say we believe in it as Muslims, because to say otherwise is to reject Islam. However, we have to ask ourselves, does our lives represent or reflect that belief? Because if we're living as if there is no tomorrow, if we are enjoying the pleasures of this life as if this is paradise, when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had said, "Ad-dunya sijn al-mu'min wa jannatul kafir." Dunya is this world and its pleasures represents a prison for the believers and paradise for the disbelievers. So if we are living and enjoying the pleasures as if this is paradise, and yet we're saying, yes, I believe in the Day of Judgment, what value is that saying? Allah is not going to judge us according to what we said, but what we believed. So this is something we need to reflect on very seriously. Along with each and every pillar of Islam and Iman and faith, but especially this pillar, we need to ask ourselves, what does our lives represent? Does it represent one who believes that he or she will be accountable for their deeds, for their sins, for their acts? Or does it represent one who doesn't? It's a very simple question. Each and every one of us needs to leave here tonight asking ourselves that question. If the answer is that our lives reflect a disbelief in the Day of Judgment, then we need to turn it around. We need to take concerted steps to bring it in line with what our belief is supposed to be. Unfortunately, I would say that for the majority of us, this is the case, that our lives do not represent our beliefs. And this is one of the big or major reasons why Islam is not respected in many parts of the world where Muslims live as minorities among non-Muslims, that their lives not reflecting Islam do not encourage anyone to want to find out about it, to want to live in accordance with it. When we look at the early generation of Muslims, from the time of Prophet Muhammad, may God's peace and blessings be upon him, and the generations that followed, we find that they lived Islam. Those early converts converted to Islam not because of the convincing arguments of the Prophet, may God's peace and blessings be upon him. He didn't convince his wife Khadija, for example, or Ali, his cousin who he raised in his home, or Zayd, the slave who had been given to him. Those early people who converted to Islam converted because of the character that he had. The character which reflected faith, sincerity, righteousness, and goodness. And this is what Islam calls to. A character which reflects belief. As the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had said, إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ. I was only sent to perfect for you the highest of moral character traits.